This might be a crazy, insane video because I honestly, guys, this is gonna be crazy. I don't know what this video is going to be about. I don't know how I'm going to do, what am I going to do. I've just been watching a lot of like videos on the creative mind, and it's funny because I always think about how on this channel I talk about how I am an artist, but I don't showcase my artwork and I don't show you guys that process. Maybe that's what this video will be about, maybe not. But this is just so that I could get something on the table. I think that that's like the biggest, that's really the biggest thing, is getting something on the table. But the central idea, the central theme is lost to me. And I think I'm going to turn on the camera every time I have a thought in my brain. I feel like the biggest thing for me is I've been so used to not to only applying my skill set and my speech to things that I feel like are gonna reap results, and that's mainly always been in education and in my, I guess now, graphic design career, my graphic career, and in that case, because of that, I have been neglecting my artistry and my artistic capabilities. I think I have yet to actually complete a artwork or sit down and create something for a while now, maybe a couple of months. But I'm even thinking in the case of like just for me, like all the artwork and everything I've ever created thus far has been for some sort of instance of design. And design and art isn't necessarily the same because you design for a reason. There is a central idea at the center of a design that is supposed to somehow communicate something, and I guess it doesn't always have to do that, but at the same time it's just like design is used to market most of the time, so I have to reestablish foundationally what my presence is supposed to reflect. What do I mean? What am I trying not to even communicate, but like what kind of feeling do I want to communicate? I have all of these ideas and I have all these things to say, but I've consistently and constantly suppressed them because it wasn't relevant. It wasn't relevant to the topic of conversation, which was mainly the bottomless scroll or instances on social media that are fleeting or fleeting, and things that are ever changing that really don't have any substance. And I think my biggest fear has been the fact that what I create and what I do won't have any weight when everything is so out of touch and without depth, just weightless. But I have to be confident, and I think I have to be more, I just have to be more fearless and more brave when it comes to making my work. I want it to be fantastical, and I want it to reflect something that is a masterpiece of the complexity that is me in my experience of life. It's just beautiful in the case of it doesn't exactly make that much sense and it's chaotic, and chaotic in the best way, chaotic in a way that I can't navigate exactly what's gonna happen or what I'm gonna do. But what's so beautiful is that the product is inevitably gonna be something that is unapologetically me and is a product of artistry, because that's how I function, that's how I do things. It's just the fear that's been eating me alive because I don't know what this is gonna be. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what my channel's gonna be. I don't know where I'm gonna be. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next couple of months, let alone this week or the next couple of days. I have to catch a bus. I have to catch a bus to go to work. It's 7:30 a.m. and I don't know exactly what this video is gonna be. But the best part about that is something that I've learned about it. It's funny, I looked over at this book called The Maintenance Man, which I don't even know why I have this book in my house, because somebody gave this book to me because it was for free and they're giving it away, and I think it's about some kind of raunchy like relationship between a maintenance man and this woman who fantasizes about him. But anyway, I haven't opened it. That's my beginning thoughts. But it says that it's from Legacy Publishing, and I looked down and I saw the word legacy and I was like, wow, that's so funny. But yeah, I think that this is like the beginning where you don't know what's gonna happen is probably the most important part and the most beautiful part. And I say this all the time, and I say this to people. The craziest thing is that people normally think that you're crazy and you don't know what you're talking about, which I kind of actually like, because then I feel like I have the freedom of speaking and doing and being the way that I want to be, because I don't have to feel like people are expecting me to have some sort of incredible, like, I don't know, idea or communicate something that is like legendary in their own eyes and perspective and where they are at whatever point of life that they're in. I have to sit down, my back is hurting. This might be at a crazy angle, apologies in advance. But I just think that, yeah, these are the most important moments in time for, I think, artists. And I was watching a channel, and I'll probably post like a little thumbnail or something, but it was just talking about how, people really do underestimate the time of the period of their life where they feel like they can't do anything or be anything, or they've been trying to attract a certain kind of audience. And time drags when you feel like it's not worth something, when you feel like for you it doesn't have a purpose, and it flies when you realize, or when you feel like you have an excitement for whatever's going on at that moment of time. And like when you zoom out, and unfortunately I feel like, well, fortunately or unfortunately, or however you see this, people later on down the line realize that they would have enjoyed the time that they had before becoming established more, because it wasn't really that long before they actually became recognized for what they did. And maybe even sometimes, like, I think part of that is just you were recognized for something that you necessarily didn't feel that passionate about, or you didn't feel that connected to, or it was just like a fleeting moment of time where you were into something and then you grew out of it. So now you're trying to rebrand and you're trying to shift gears, and that's even more complicated because you already have a general audience that likes a specific thing that you do. But I think even in that, it teaches you that you should really create and focus on the part of you that is, it just calls to you, what you want to do, what you want to be, how you see things. I don't think you're supposed to remain just set on a specific idea when it comes to what you do and what you make. You're supposed to continue exploring and experimenting and learning about the different things that are at your disposal. And I think I tried to brand my channel and everything before the time that I was supposed to figure out exactly what the branding and everything was supposed to be. I feel like not having lighting, for one, not having the strongest branding at the beginning is significant because it teaches you how to base your brand on the content you make. And for me personally, I don't know exactly the kind of content that is gonna be uploaded on my channel. Even by the next video, I just kind of go with the flow. And every single time I make a video, I realize something about myself. So I'm definitely 100% in the learning process and experimenting with a ton of different things. And I don't want to put my finger on one specific thing, although I enjoy doing it, because that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to want to do it every single time. Which I'm actually happy that I went ahead with like the whole kind of tagline. I just do stuff. I just make whatever calls to me. And like I was saying earlier, I was making that more so of a brand rather than a sort of concept, a sort of way to appreciate that aspect of like my creative practice. So then I don't have to be so hard on myself when it comes to changing certain elements or materials that I use for my videos, or not talking about certain topics or creating certain things or doing certain things. Like, I think that it just doesn't have to be complicated. And I think that like watching the video I mentioned earlier kind of liberated me, because you want to think about it, what you do from a business perspective, and you want to connect with other people, but because it helps your business, you think from a perspective of, oh, I need to make this connection because it's going to get me from point A to B, or this, that, and the other. You start looking at people as opportunities instead of like genuine connections. And it's funny because as creatives, and especially as an artist, you want to have a genuine connection so you can make genuine products, so you can make genuine artwork. And like when you lose that element, then you start losing the importance of what you make, and you start losing that connection to your work, because you lost the general connection to what was your muse, what was your inspiration. Everything just becomes some sort of marketing tactic. And I feel like that's a lot of what graphic design is. It's about knowing other people, but also having the proper experience. And then it's about making sure that you understand what kind of company you work for, what kind of skills you bring to the table, and how you even after you're working under a company, you're still thinking about how much farther you could take your work and the kind of clients you're working with. And now you're working with clients that want you to create certain brand identities and systems, and it's just become so technical to the point that it's not a personal thing to you anymore. It's just oversaturated in what each element means and how to communicate what, and it's a headache, and it's tiring, because being a graphic designer today is just heavily surrounded by people who want to feel something but also confide in instant gratification or instant satisfaction or whatever. Things that are instant are not necessarily healthy. You think like instant noodles, instant like TV dinners, and all anything instant I don't think has any kind of, there's no substance, there's no sort of value when it comes to health and wellness, and it's just fleeting. And like I started thinking, when I design things, especially for things that are gonna not be here anymore or are no longer there, what is the point? Like I don't know. It's just so hard to navigate the importance of something when it's made to be a relic, and not even in a proper length of time. Is that the right word? Relic means an object surviving from an earlier time, especially one of historic or sentimental interest. See, it's not even sentimental though. It's just like a remain. Like it just, it's just there. I have to leave. Yeah, Beastie. Look at Beast, guys. Yeah, man. Are you sleepy? He's sleeping. I'm gonna leave him alone. So nice right now. It's actually incredibly beautiful outside at this very moment in time. I literally can't believe it. Like, this is everything. It's so nice outside. We'd have to go outside. Everybody has to go outside right now whilst I'm recording this immediately.
Sunday died for remaining in power. I mean, one of the things cited by Mark Morris, independent and strong, but really this was just to chastise Roman women's exercising of sexual freedoms and promiscuity. But yes, it's important to talk about gender roles because a lot of the people mentioned.
I started working out again and decided I am working out every hour I spend watching something. I also started watching Inya Imanzer and Drew and Josiah and a couple of other people they know. Their videos help me feel more creative, and their personalities are a big contrast to the more mainstream demeanor and linguistics on social media. I'm scared of documenting things about my life. I usually only document the extraordinary. But what's iconic or ironic, that's so funny. Why do they look the same? Anyway, what's ironic is that I'm always uncertain of what exactly extraordinary is defined as. Part of me kind of knows that extraordinary is usually found in moments that one cannot consciously be made aware of during that exact instance of time. I feel kind of hypocritical because I usually forget everything, nearly everything significant that occurs. I honestly believe it's some sort of defense mechanism to protect me from my own thoughts and ideas and things that are similar to ones in the past that had no weight in certain conversations with certain people that I don't even speak to anymore, people I hardly speak to anymore. I've sacrificed unknowingly parts of myself for the benefit of being relevant. Forget social media. This was my whole life. It starts slow, from report cards to acceptance letters to job interviews. I admit I've faced and dealt with an extreme sort of programming that has caused a significant state of crisis concerning my identity. But how beautiful is that? That the soul cries out still, although the mind has seemingly taken all control. The sudden burst of tears that befalls the accountant at their desk, a certain need to walk a different route on your way to the grocery store, pulling out your notebook from 20 years ago, stopping suddenly to look at how the leaves have already begun to change, saying, "Is it fall already?" Magic. That's magic. Or God for others, or maybe for others, meditation, or accident to others of others. A number of chants, 1,000 to 1. Some will shrug it off, some will pray, give thanks to God and or universe. In these moments, I like to do as many things as possible in relation to gratitude that says, thanks. Giving back. A strong reply of confirmation that I am in want of even more of these moments. So I draw, I write, I consume only what helps me manifest more occurrences like this. Through silence and stillness that bring them. One thing that I pride myself over, if I don't pride myself enough, is finding bliss in the deafening, the soundless, the unmoving. Hardly anyone goes there, especially now. It's become a kind of gift to have this quality, to be unmoving in a great traffic. To be unafraid despite the commotion and pile-up, sounds of horns and road rage, the anticipation, the lack of clarity of when one can move again, when one can progress further along a street that seems never ending. When I think of being in this traffic, I don't see myself in the vehicle. I see myself without a car. I see myself confused as to why people would rather sit in, whilst it is a vehicle, faster in miles per hour in distance. It's still just a car that is stuck in traffic. And then I don't understand why people would proceed to honk their horn, despite the fact that no one else can move. And this goes on for hours. All it takes is to simply get out the car and take the sidewalk. I won't lie, it might not feel as comfortable as a cushioned seat in an enclosed space, but you'll be getting somewhere. You'll be experiencing more, too, surely, and your legs will get strong, and pretty soon you'll forget you had a car at all. You'll be strong enough to carry yourself anywhere with no extra expense, no traffic. What's the hurry anyway? You're on a never-ending street, silly.